All right, let's do this. We are diving headfirst into the complete story of Stranger Things. We're going to cover everything, from the very beginning with a kid who just vanishes into thin air, all the way to the brink of an all-out war for the world. You ready?
So, this is the big question, right? How on earth did this sleepy little town, Hawkins, Indiana, end up being ground zero for the apocalypse? I mean, seriously. To figure that out, we have to talk about the place that started all the trouble.
And that place is, of course, the Upside Down. Think of it as this dark, twisted mirror of our world. It's cold, it's toxic, and it is crawling with monsters you wouldn't even see in your worst nightmares. And that secret lab in Hawkins? Yeah. They're the ones who decided it was a good idea to open a door they could never, ever close.
Okay, let's rewind. We're going back to 1983. Before all the giant monsters and end-of-the-world stuff, this whole insane story started with something much simpler, much more personal. A boy just vanished.
So Will Byers is gone. Poof. And his best friends, Mike, Dustin, and Lucas, they're not just going to sit around. They go looking for him. But instead of Will, they find this girl. Shaved head, barely speaks, and oh yeah, she can move things with her mind. This is 11. And we quickly learn that the Hawkins lab didn't just open a little doorway, they let something out. A hunter. They call it the Demogorgon. And while everyone else thinks Will is dead, his mom, Joyce, knows he's not. How? Because he's talking to her through the Christmas lights. It's an absolutely wild ride to get him back.
And you know what? Against all odds, they pull it off. They get Will back, 11 faces the Demogorgon and seems to sacrifice herself to destroy it. It feels like a win. But it's not really, because when Will came back, he brought something with him. A little piece of the Upside Down hiding inside.
And that little piece? Well, it started to grow. The threat escalates. Big time. Suddenly, they're not just fighting a monster anymore. They're up against something that can think, something that can plan. An invading mind.
This is where the game completely changes. Look, the Demogorgon in Season 1, it was basically a shark. A terrifying, deadly predator, but just a hunter. The Mind Flayer, though, that's a whole different level. It's like this giant psychic virus, this shadow entity that controls a hive mind from its own dimension. It's not just a beast, it's a general with an army.
And who's its first target? Poor Will Byers. It possesses him, turning him into a spy against his own family and friends. At the same time, it's literally trying to transform Hawkins, spreading these gross tunnels under the town like veins. But wait, 11 is alive. She's been hiding out with Hopper, learning about her past, and she comes back with a vengeance more powerful than ever, right when they need her most, to slam that giant gate to the Upside Down shut. So boom, connection severed. Will is saved, Hawkins is safe, for now. But as the gate closes, we see the Mind Flayer still there, looming over the upside-down version of the school. It's been locked out, sure, but it's watching, and it is not happy.
Flash forward to the summer of '85, peak '80s. Hawkins has a brand new Starcourt mall. But, you know, this is Hawkins. So, of course, deep underneath all the neon and the food court, some secret Russian operation is trying to pry that door back open.
Now remember, last time we dealt with the Mind Flayer, it was just this giant shadow thing, right? A puppeteer pulling strings from another reality. Well, that was about to change in a really, really disgusting way.
Because now, that shadow has a body. Thanks to the Russians and their giant laser, the Mind Flayer figures out how to build itself a physical form here. And it does it by melting people down into this grotesque, fleshy monster. It's horrifying. And its main host? Billy. And it all explodes, literally, at the Starcourt Mall. The kids are fighting this thing, this flesh monster, and Billy, who's been its puppet, finally breaks free for just a second, long enough to sacrifice himself to save 11. It's a huge moment. But then, to shut the gate again, Joyce has to trigger the machine, and Hopper's right there. He's just gone, vaporized, leaving everyone completely broken. Which brings us to Season 4, and honestly, this is where things get dark. The Byers family has moved away, everyone thinks Hopper is dead, and a new evil starts to crawl out of the woodwork. And this one is different. It's smart. It's personal.
We're not talking about some beast anymore.
There's a new killer in Hawkins, a sentient one. He gets inside your head, uses your worst fears and traumas against you, and then kills you in this absolutely horrific ritual. And this ritual, it's opening new gates to the Upside Down. His name is Vecna.
So who the heck is this guy? Well, here's the mother of all twists. He was human. He was a boy named Henry Creel, who became subject number 1, the very first experiment at Hawkins' lab. After he went on a rampage and killed all the other kids, a very young 11 managed to fight him off. She didn't kill him, though. She banished him to the Upside Down. And for decades, that dimension's energy just warped him, twisted him into this monster.
And this is maybe the biggest reveal in the whole show. Vecna isn't just the new bad guy, he's been the bad guy the entire time. He calls himself the 5-star general. The Demogorgon, the Mind Flayer, the Flesh Monster, all of it. They were all his tools, his weapons. He was behind everything from day one, the architect of all their suffering.
So this is it, the final collision course. On one side, you have 11, who has to go through this insane process to get her powers back so she can even stand a chance. On the other side, you have Vecna, who has this chillingly precise plan. Kill 4 people, open 4 gates. And his ultimate goal? Just to smash the barrier between worlds and let the Upside Down pour into ours, remaking everything in his own twisted image.
And that huge battle at the end of Season 4, spoiler alert, they didn't win. It wasn't a victory. It was Vecna getting exactly what he wanted. It was the beginning of the end.
4. He needed 4 sacrifices to open his gates. And even though they fought like hell, he got his 4th when he killed Max. Even though she came back, for that moment, he won.
And the result was instant. Apocalyptic. 4 giant fiery canyons just ripped through Hawkins, all meeting in the middle of town. The Upside Down isn't knocking anymore. It's breaking through. So this is where we stand, right on the edge of the abyss. The Upside Down is literally spilling into our world. You can see it in the dying plants and the red sky. The whole crew is back together in Hawkins. Yep, even Hopper, who's back from a Russian gulag, believe it or not, but they're hurting. Max is technically alive thanks to Elle, but she's in a coma. Her mind just isn't there. And Will, he can feel Vecna. He confirms what they're all dreading. They hurt him, but he is absolutely 100% still alive. Which leaves us with one last absolutely terrifying question. The invasion is here. The final boss is wounded, but he is far from beaten. Hawkins is just the first domino to fall in a war for our entire world. So, with the final battle lines drawn, who's going to be left to save it?